Hello and welcome to Ranting and Raving episode 4 here with me, Biff. And today, as you can see on the screen, we're going into a creation and we're applying the logos we made the last day. But it wouldn't be called Ranting and Raving without a rant and a rave. Today, I want to touch on something which I found atrocious within this community, and I find it stooping to a new level, like a new, absolutely horribly low level, on par with the stupid shit you know and see every day in YouTube videos from Call of Duty. On Twitter today, a friend of mine, as a lot of you listening will know it, I have a very good friend, Van Brett, and the poor fella lost his fiance recently to cancer, and he is still grieving, and it's an absolute horrible situation. He had a falling out with the CWC owner, and fair enough, people fall out. But on Twitter today, I just saw on my feed a guy called Kingdom Star, and he made this disgusting comment. Just because you lost your fiance to cancer, or your fiance died to cancer, doesn't mean you can run a car show. That is fucking low. That is disgusting. I am absolutely dumbfounded how our community can go to that low. Like, this is the shit that I thought we'd never get to that level. But look, if this is what kids are at these days, and this is not just him. There's loads of little fuckwads out there that are that low. You meet them in PSN chats. I can't speak for the Xbox side because I don't meet them. I don't do competitive over there. But you have your few matches here on the PS3 side. And look, you meet them every now and again, and they will say whatever they can to get under your skin and just try to fucking piss you off, and then give you the "you mad" thing, thinking they're being funny. But that's a common thing that happens, and this though is a new low for our community, and there is people out there that do this shit, that think that's fucking funny, and think that that's effective thing to say to someone. I think it's the most fucking disgusting thing I've heard so far within this community. And if I was the owner of that show and this little fuckwad was representing my show saying shit like that, do you know what I'd be doing? He'd be fucking out the door in case anyone else starts to associate that shit with your show. That's what I'd be doing, and that's their choice. And if they want CWC roster members to be perceived that way, let them. I want nothing to do with a show like that. That's fucking disgusting. And any other future roster members, if you're contemplating joining, think that's the kind of shit that's in that show. That's the kind of crap that they do, and that is disgusting. And these 16, it's another reason why I don't join a lot of shows and I don't put myself out there to join them, is because, like, I am 27 years old. I'm in this community a long time. I'm playing these fucking video games a long ass time, and I find it hard to have to listen to these kids who are still living with their parents tell me what to do in a show. That's the main point where I'm lost at it. Like, that's the point where I can't do it. And that's why I'm just not really doing too much in regards of shows and stuff. Like, I find it very difficult to listen to children tell me what to do, and this is the kind of shit that gets spewed out of these kids' mouths these days. And if their parents knew that they were saying this stuff online, I'd like to imagine they would beat the holy high fuck out of them. Because if my daughter was ever online when she grows up and said something like that to someone else, my God, she'd be gone. She wouldn't be on the internet anymore. That'll be it. Done. No more. Like, it's absolutely disgusting what kids these days go around doing. And they are kids. If you're living at home with your parents and you're under the age of 20 and you're not self-sufficient in any way at all, no matter what you think of yourself, you are a child in my eyes. You are a feckin' child. And especially if you go around with this egotistical, testosterone-driven bullshit, try and make yourself feel a bit more macho. That's a child in my eyes, a spoiled little stupid child. And I commiserate with Oscar on that. That was something he shouldn't have had to deal with while he's grieving over the loss of his fiance. And while we're speaking of grieving, Julio, a friend of mine, white kid on PSN, I'm very sorry for the loss of your of your cousin. That was awful what happened, and I hope that your family can grieve in peace. But anyways, moving on from these horrible, morbid conversation, this horrible stuff that shouldn't be happening, but is. I don't know who's encouraging these stupid fucking kids to act that way. I don't know. If I was running a show and I didn't want to be part of it, they can go fuck themselves. That's the way I see it from now on. But moving on, anyways. In my last episode, on episode 3, it was pointed out to me by friends of mine, Narrow, saying to me to go a little bit more in depth about the depicting your caw, and I will. I will do so on Ishmael here. Like, I'm depicting what your caw is. I'm actually going to show. I'm going to actually add another little thing to talk. I'm going to add a T-shirt with a logo, a nickname which I just randomly came up with: David's Most Dangerous Son, in hindrance to the whole Jewish thing, like, you know. And some people say ethnicity and religion is not a gimmick. And I know this is not a gimmick, but the thing is, he's a special armed forces from one of the most effective, dangerous anti-terrorism units that's ever existed, the Israeli armed forces. And that's what this guy's background is. So if the guy isn't Jewish, hardcore nationalist, I don't know what to make him, to be honest. But in relevance to an awful lot of cause, say you want, I meant that in the respects of, like, if you're making just a generalized gimmick for your caw, right? A T-shirt with a logo and a catchphrase which depicts the character will go a long way if you can't come up with something yourself, you know? I believe that would help an awful lot in that regard. Now, how does that look, I wonder? There's XO in that. And that's what I generally mean by that. Like, I think something in the regards of that helps an awful lot in the depiction of the caw. I think that would help with how people perceive him straight away on what this character's gimmick is, and how they should receive him as a heel or a face. But just generally on caws and how they're perceived, I think that's a standardized, simple answer to the solution if the gimmick isn't already obvious. Like, when I make the caw, I try to make it obvious what the gimmick is on the guy. I try to make it look as obvious as I can, so that is a problem. Oh, sugar, I forgot the centralized thing. Well, we'll just do this instead. You know what we'll do? We'll actually go and use the flag instead of the logo to go around the back. But that's just the other side of the topic I want to address on it. Like, it's that first thing we're talking about, it still has me a bit riled up. I think that's absolutely horrible and disgusting. So it is. It's unbelievable what people can get away with saying these days. You know, it's absolutely disgusting. I have nothing but sympathy for that poor guy, and for someone to say something like that, I can only imagine it's inspired by someone else, and I hope it's not, because that's absolutely disgusting. And if it is, that person deserves to get the shit kicked out of him, getting these kids to go and say that kind of crap. You know what, we don't need that. I think that's nearly okay now as it is. We'll just put a little bit on the boots, and that should be fine. Anyways, this has been the Daily Rant. I've been Biff, and hopefully we can mature as a community, and when these kids grow up and realise the stupid shit they've done, that they'll start to realise and feel pretty fucking bad about the crap they've been spewing. Forgive but never forget. I've been Biff, this has been The Rant. See you tomorrow, guys.